Welcome to the Brew of Life podcast show, episode 18. I'm your host, Steven, and today we'll be talking about approaching anxiety. Enjoy the show. Anxiety. I mean, what can you say about anxiety? You know, that tension when, you're just in a situation where you want to take action, whether, you're talking to a group of people or, you're just trying to do something new, but you're just too afraid of the future outcome. Now, I already talked about anxiety in the other episodes, like in episode, what is it, man? It's been a while. I think it's episode 12, Entering the Flow State. And I talked about just about anxiety and stuff, and how, in order to get out in that anxious feeling is to be water, just be water, just go with the flow and just don't really think about it too much. Nowadays, especially now, definitely now, with social, quote unquote, social distancing, all the stuff that has been going on that has been putting a lot of people in anxious feeling now, it just becomes stupid, Like, it comes to a point now where people are so afraid to each other, are so afraid to talk to talk to one another in real life, And it just comes to a point where it's just getting too far, man. Like, seriously, I don't want to get to me, it's just stupid. It just sounds cringy. Cringy as well, social distancing. That just sounds so cringy to me. I don't know why. But especially in times like this, where definitely, people are just now isolated, and, that may make their anxiety worse, or maybe not. But, it's just everyone's experience on how it is. And I just want to go in depth with anxiety because I have a lot of experience with anxiety as well. And actually, how I said actually like 22 times. But anyways, how I actually got this podcast episode idea was actually me having some anxiety, feeling today when I was skateboarding. And I remember when I was skateboarding, I saw these group of people, and I didn't really want to skateboard around their area because I was afraid that I would probably get judged upon. I don't know why. It's just such a stupid thing in my mind, or just anything like that. But I just said, you know what, screw it. And I just skate around, the basketball area. They were there, and turns out, without me actually skateboarding around their area, and I think, yeah, it was a rec center, then I would have never known that this one girl, she actually skateboarded as well. If I just, listen to my mind of just listen to, just feeding into my anxiety, and not approaching them. I mean, I didn't really intend to approach them, but I would have never known one of them actually skateboarded, and actually she gave me some tips on what to do with skateboarding, especially with how to what type of stance as well, because I've been having trouble with stances in skateboarding. For example, I've been doing a lot of Mongo pushing, but even though I'm still learning how to do regular position with skateboarding, and she actually taught me how. It was just really, it was really nice. Just to interact with them and just talk to them, especially at times like this, where it is now looked down upon to not talk to each other anymore in real life. It's sad. It's sickening. We're in a society nowadays where it is normal to not talk to one another, hug one another, or just, it's sad. It's sad, And anyways, just to get into it. And that experience, man, without me just not listening to myself and just go back, turn back, because like I was afraid to get judged upon. But I feel this is so weird as well. Like, how come in the world, like, when I skateboard around their area, you know, one of them skateboarded as well. Actually, it was two of them, and that's crazy, man. That's no coincidence. Like, there is no coincidence in this life, man. Like, maybe this universe trying to tell me something, you know. But I feel like every time when you get out of your comfort zone and we get out of that anxious state, the more like I guess you can say it's like a new adventure, right? It's like a new adventure for yourself. Like it's like a challenge for yourself to do and stuff. Instead, like when you are in your comfort zone and like you're backing out something that you really want to take action of, but at the same time you don't. No, but like at the same time, like you can't do it because like there's so much like resistance within you, so much pressure, and like there's so much battle going on within your mind. Then you just back out, stay in your comfort zone, nothing happens, right? So yeah, let's talk about this with anxiety and stuff, and how can we deal with it? Like I feel like for anxiety, for me, we should probably examine it. I don't know why I said that wrong, but anyways, we should just like observe it. I mean, observe anxiety, observe our mind. Detach yourself from your thoughts. Detach yourself from you constantly thinking all the time, because anxiety, you know, it happens a lot when we think too much. We think too much, way too far in the future. Oh, what if this happens? What if that happens? Like, what if this? Like, what if it goes wrong? Like, we always think about the worst case scenario of things going wrong for some reason, even though most likely nine out of 10, it won't even happen. It's just an illusion. And I'm still dealing with it now. And there's sometimes I've like in my life I've you know I guess you say conquered my anxiety and just take action that I really want to take. And sometimes I just back out. I just get way too anxious. I get way too nervous for no reason, for the simplest things. Like, we're in a day and age now where we, as people now, we overthink the most littlest things, right? And I feel like another reason why we have so much anxiety so much is because of our ego. Because, we think that everything is like centered around on us. Like everything is centered around like on us, Like everything that we do, people may seem to care, even though in reality, people don't really care. Like 9 out of 10 people are just thinking about themselves on what other people think about them. That's the crazy fact is, right? And this is actually this is actually called the spotlight effect. And if you don't know what the spotlight effect is, it's basically what I just explained. It's basically like you think that everything evolves. I don't know how. What? Why am I not saying about words so much? But you think that everything is just about you. Like everything that you do, people are going to remember that action, even at the most simplest things. And you're just constantly worrying, oh, what if that person thinks about me? What if he thinks about me? And we always say like the world is just thinking about us 24/7, and when in reality, no one really cares of what you really do, especially like the most simplest things. For example, maybe like you made like some, I don't really know how to explain it, but I guess you can say maybe you just mess up in a conversation, right? You're talking to this person and you just mess up your words, and now you think that this person's gonna think about you just messing up, even though 9 out of 10 they don't really care about what you just did. As long as it didn't really hurt them or anything, you're all good, right? So now let's get into it, man. Like, why? I don't really know why, man. Like, why do we have anxiety? And especially, like I said, in a generation like this, man. Like, seriously, I feel like more people are getting anxious like it's like way worse than back then, right? And I don't really know why. Maybe because we've been separated, especially times like this, we've been separated so much that it just comes to a point where we can't even talk to like another human being. Or maybe it's just our beliefs on what we can do and what we cannot do. We put limits on ourselves for no actual reason. It can just be any other way, man. And, you know, just start thinking about yourself, like what type of things that you're just so anxious of, and just why. Like, why are you so anxious of that thing? Like, why? No, one thing that I've been suffering is, social anxiety for me. And I don't really know why. Like, it's just so hard to explain, but like, when you're just getting out of your comfort zone and it's like talking to new people, like, when I talk to with my friends and stuff, it's comfortable, so you're in like your little safe space, you're comfortable. But like when it's someone that you never talk to, then that's when things starts to get, difficult. That's when things, when like for no reason, man, just talking to someone. Maybe, I feel like for me, maybe because the reason why I get so anxious sometimes, because like, oh, what should I say? Or just like if they're gonna judge me or something like that, or just anything like that. The stupid like outcomes, like we make the most stupidest outcomes we think of, like outcomes that won't even happen in the first place. Think about, you're having an anxious feeling of an asteroid coming and hitting your house. Like, you could be anxious about that all day, and then, the next day happens. Oh, wait, you're totally fine. You're not dead, and your house is okay, and there's no asteroid. So there was no reason for you to be anxious in the first place. But your mind made it so real to the point where, like, you just believe in it. I think that's why as well, because our minds just make things so real, even though at the same time we know it's not, but yet it's still it's somehow they still do it successfully. And you know now let's just get into part, like, how can we actually approach this, man? One way to actually just, I feel like, approach anxiety is just to meditate on it. Just meditate on your thoughts, your feelings, your physical, like, touch. Just meditate on it, man. And just be calm about it, man. Just, like, meditate on it. Like, I already made an episode about meditation, but, I feel like meditation can be a really good way just to examine your anxious thoughts, right? And like I said, don't really try to, like, fight your anxiety. Don't really try to, like, try to have a battle with it. Because the more we have battles with our own thoughts, the more things get worse. Just watch them. The more we watch our thoughts, the more it just gets so much easier. Instead of just engaging with them all the time, just trying to resist the thoughts, trying to do everything out of our way to get rid of it. Even though it comes to a point where it's just inevitable. You just gotta accept. You just gotta accept what it is. And that's why I recommend just like meditation, and just don't, like, at first when I heard about meditation, I thought, like, I thought meditation was always, been about, like, you know sitting there doing nothing. It gets more deep than that, but, or just trying to control our thoughts. I say exact opposite. Do not try to control your thoughts, man. The more you try to control your thoughts, the more you try to restrict your own mind, then the mind is going to fight back. Then your thoughts are going to fight back at you, and it's going to be a constant battle. You got to approach your anxiety in a calm, mature way. Just approach it. Just, I don't really know how to explain. Just approach it with no expectations, no expectation at all. And once you just observe it and just question yourself, like, why am I having, these anxious thoughts? Why am I having, you know, negative thoughts or anything like that that has been constantly you just been thinking about it off, and just start watching that. Like I said, never ever engage with your thoughts. Just watch it, man. That's with meditation as well. And I feel like another thing that we can, approach anxiety is just to take action. Simple as that. ERP exposure. And ERP exposure is like, exposing yourself to something that you just constantly been feared of, or, constantly just like, what are your fears or what are your anxieties, right? Then be exposed to that. Being in that situation of with your fears and face it. And also, it can also work with addiction as well. With ERP exposure, just like, exposing yourself to addiction and just facing it face to face as well. But I feel like we're gonna talk a little bit more of like anxiety and stuff instead of like, addiction. So just like, once you're in like that, you know, I guess you say anxious situation, like, and you're just exposing yourself to it, whether it's like social anxiety, like expose yourself to, public places and just try at least have a conversation with a stranger, or just wanting to talk to that person that you always want to talk to, but you just really never got a chance to. Then just expose yourself to that, and once you're in that situation, take action, man. Take action. And I guess you say one, I don't know, I'm just like kind of lost for words right now. I don't really know why, but like one, way to approach your anxiety is, I actually got this, I didn't make the idea, but some guy, his name is UnhappyPlum. He got the idea, and it was called the New York Times effect. So what is the New York Times effect that he made? I'm not really sure if he made it though, but shout out to him, UnhappyPlum. Actually, make sure to subscribe to his channel. He actually makes good content and stuff. Might as well just put his channel link below. But what the New York Times rule effect is, how he explained it actually, is basically, imagine this. Imagine, you're doing something that you're pretty anxious about. You're pretty worried about people are going to judge upon you. People may, look at you weird because you're just doing that thing and you thinking that, people are thinking about you right now, and, you're caring about other people's opinions. Now, imagine that, with the New York Times rule, that, the whole world knows what you did, that you're maybe embarrassed of, right? Like, it's like in front of the newspaper, and like, just imagine yourself like seeing a newspaper of yourself doing the thing that, seems to be embarrassing to yourself, though to other people, they don't really care about it. They don't really care about what you do, Most likely, like I said, they care more about themselves and what other people think instead of you, So just imagine that, like if, you're featured on the front page of the news of what you did, right? For example, like, let's say you just talked to that person that, you're pretty anxious of talking to, and just imagine that, taking place on the front page of the newspaper. Would anyone care of you talking to another person? Most likely, no. Not most likely. Definitely no. I feel like no one would really care at all if they see on the front page of the news of you talking to another person. They would not care about it at all and just go along with their day. That's what the New York Times rule is. Basically, imagine yourself if a reporter tries to report on a thing that you're trying to take action of, and would the public really care? And like, will they really care like how you care about, the thing that you're about to do, that seems to be embarrassing? And it can work the other way around too, right? Doing something maybe like you said, like, you know, doing something that that is bad, but most likely you're going to take that action anyways. That can work, the same way as that too. Like, do you really want to do something bad and then it's going to be in front of the newspaper? Most definitely, no. So it can work on either way, whether you're approaching anxiety or doing something that you know is wrong, but you're like on the edge of doing it, you know? So that's what the New York Times rule effect is. And like I said, shout out to Unhappy Plum. And also, I suppose, me and him, we try to get a podcast with each other. I'm not sure when we're going to have a podcast, when he's going to come on this podcast show. Well, anyways, I'll put his description down below of his channel because, like, he got the idea. So all credit goes to him with that. And just about, yeah, with just anxiety, man. Like, you know, I don't really know what to say next. But, like, I guess you say, sometimes we just gotta take action, I think. Especially when you have so much resistance. Like, have you just been in a position where, like, you just care to the point where you're just sweating. You're just sweating a lot. You're anxious for no reason. Like, you're just so sweating and, like, your heart is pumping for no absolute reason. I've been in that position before as well. Like, I remember one time, right? I just try to say goodbye to this group of people at my school. And I don't want to get into too much detail of it, but like, I was actually anxious just to say bye to another human being. Like, it gets to that point where anxiety, it can just come to a point where we just think about the future way too much. We think about stupidest outcomes ever, right? And, you know, like I said, just be present. Be as present as possible because this is like the only thing that we have right now. I feel like time is an illusion. Time is really like an illusion because the only time we have is right now. Be in the flow state, Be water. That's one way you just get rid of anxiety. You just be with the flow. Be with that vibration of frequency within you. And then you just go from there. Like water. Like what Bruce Lee quote said. Be water. And I feel like that's why, we should just detach ourselves from thinking sometimes. Because we think too much. We overthink. And that can lead to things with, like, when we overthink, we think that it's helping the problem. When we are frustrated with that one thing, we think that's helping the problem better. But yet, it's not really. It's making the problem way worse than it's supposed to be. And it's just, you're just making it way worse for yourself. And it shouldn't be like that way. It should not be like that when you're just in that sticky situation of yourself being in some position where you may find very, I guess, anxious and fearful of. And, I'm not really sure what to even talk about next. I think we tackled a lot of things on this podcast episode, and I'm not really too sure what to say next, but, I think we're going to do another, just thinking about, like, what are we anxious of? Like, why are we anxious on that thing? Like, go within with ourselves. Like, the only answers we can find within, why we have that feeling is within us. So, you know what? I want to do it again. And that is, I want to play some calm music and just start thinking, like, what are your anxieties? What are your fears and why? No, just a short, I guess, little meditation. I can say I'll play some jazz music or something like that, something calming, and just start thinking, man. So, yeah. Anyways, and also I'll talk about my experience as well on what I've been facing, even though I talked about which is social anxiety. But yeah, let's just get into it. And welcome back. Hopefully that helped you just to rethink, reconsider of you know what has been eating you alive. I guess you could say, what has been bothering you this whole time, and I just recommend just going within yourself, because the answer lies within you. The answer is always right in front of you. You just gotta find it within you, man. And you know, whatever problem you got with some social anxiety, man, just hang on there. And like I say, like I said, approach it with generosity. Not Don't approach it like it's an enemy. Don't approach it like it's something like a monster. Don't approach it like that. Just approach it like it's a shy person, you know? Your anxiety is just shy, you know? And just start being more in peace with it, And hopefully, that really helped you with that mini meditation I did right there. I want to do more of that so you guys can get engaged with this podcast show. And, that's just a nice little way for you guys can be involved, with it here. Even if we were so far away with each other, maybe probably. But, anyways, like anxiety is, you know, it's a different experience for everyone. But like, I don't really know why. I feel like sometimes the reason why I mostly have anxiety as well is because I put things above me. I put things on a high pedestal, thinking that, you know, if I put this on like above me, it's like something like it's like I have to prove to it. I have to live up to that expectation to it, whether it's comparing yourself to another person or putting someone above you. Because this is probably one of the most realist quotes. Once you place something above you, it has conquered you. And I feel like that's why I sometimes have anxiety as well. I don't like, it's just so complicated why I have it. I won't say complicated, but just you know with my social anxiety and stuff, like sometimes I don't really fit in as well. But I feel like I need to go more within myself on why I had that as well. And most of the times, like most of you guys as well. So, I think that's pretty much it for this podcast episode. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. You know, even though it has been a while since I made one, we're back in action. And before we leave this podcast, I just want to say happy birthday to my grandma. And as of recording this, today is my grandma's birthday. And I love her a lot. Happy birthday. And not only that, I'm not really sure. I just love you guys, you know? Even if we never really met, like, if you guys have just been here, like, it's an honor. Seriously, it's been an honor. And do I really have to say anything? I would like to announce some things, but I think I would like to keep it on the hold as of now. But, you know, just check out my YouTube channel, Phantom Broken, as well, where I'm making videos there. Put that in the description below. And also, let's see, any other things? Brew live shows on YouTube as well. And just about, yeah, I really do hope, you know, like, we're all in this together with what we're facing, you know? And yeah, man, my name's Steven. This is the Brew Life Show, and peace.